Talk to us, man.
I
Talk to
don't
us.
often call in, but first of all, big up to you guys. Big up Ash, my brother.
Big
Barnaby, I
up, bro.
remember you from back in the day on Spurred On, mate. Long time. You don't know who I am, but I remember watching you a long time ago.
No, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, so I just felt I had to come on and speak about the the situation with the team and that, and I'm just getting a bit agitated and a little bit infuriated with sections of our fan base at the moment who are questioning Ange, criticizing Ange, and Ange could have done this, he should have done that. Nobody has got the qualifications to say what Ange should and shouldn't do. No fan, unless they're minimum UEFA B qualified and with at least 10 years of experience in the industry, have got a given right to say what Ange should or shouldn't do. Everyone can have an opinion, yes, I agree, and everyone can have a view, but there seems to be this mini agenda growing that his in-game management is flawed and he's too much attack and he should drop off a little bit and we should be a little bit more pragmatic. And what I saw from West Ham tonight was two lucky goals, which was a ricochet that landed to Bowen for the first goal, and Udogie just having a brain fart, not realising where Bowen was, and not making a decent pass back to the goalkeeper, and then they've capitalised on it. Other than that, West Ham don't score tonight. And then I look at Spurs, 75% possession, 23 shots, 7 on target, 10 off target, a passing accuracy of 91.5%. Anything above 88 is excellent. 91.5%. 8 corners. All our attacking metrics way outdo West Ham's today. What West Ham did tonight is essentially what Conte and Mourinho have been doing for years at Spurs.
Completely
And,
agree.
and our fans hounded those managers out because they're not good enough. They're turgid. Their football's boring. Yet David Moyes has come to Spurs and done exactly that and won the game. So if we were to change and do that, they're going to hound the manager out. So what is it? What is it that Spurs fans are looking for at the moment from this manager? Because for me, we don't have the players to meet the expectations of the start to the season that we had. We had a brilliant start, but the expectations got blown way out of control.
Yeah.
And I think everyone just needs to remember we finished 8th for last season. We're an 8th place team. We sold Harry Kane. We didn't replace him. That makes us what? 14th, 15th place team?
Yeah.
We signed 4 or 5 players. That allowed us to push up the table to a better position. We lost quite a few of those players to suspension and injuries. Hence why we dropped off back to that 8th place, 14th place team, because that's what we are. But because of our attacking football and because of the way we go about it, it's kind of allowed us to maintain there or thereabouts in that European places in the league.
Yeah.
If we change the way we play and we start being more defensive, number one, that's not our future. So what's the point of coaching it? Number two, we don't have the players to do it because when we did used to do that, these players let us down time and time again. The problem at Spurs for me is so simple right now. We don't have enough creativity. We don't take chances when we do take them, and we haven't replaced Harry Kane. We are not dynamic enough and creative enough in the final third of the pitch. This isn't the first time we've seen it. And chances are falling to players that are nowhere near good enough to wear the badge of Spurs. Richarlison missed a header from 6 yards out. He's rubbish. I've said it 1,000 times. He is pathetic that he's £65 million and we've got fans saying he'll come good. Give it time. I've seen that same miss from him 4 or 5 times this season. He doesn't deserve to be at this club. And it's not just him, there's others. Ange needs to clear it out. He needs to bring in his players. He needs 2-3 seasons. So if people are going to start criticising him now and people are going to start getting on his back now, then do you know what? Just be Ange out now, get it done with, and hound this guy out as well, because that's where it's going to end up. We've got to stay strong as a fan base. It's difficult, I know, and it needs patience. But if we don't do it, we are going to end up down the same path of failure. The last 23 years of Levy's been like that. Don't let Levy win. Demand he backs this man. Demand he backs him every window. And let Ange do the rest. And at that point, if he's backed properly, then we can say, right, this is on you, the manager.
Still,
I don't know how you guys feel, but
I
I just can't handle the way some of our fans are going about this about a manager.
Just a quick one, just like to bring it to present day. What do you think needs to really change for Spurs to get a result to stop the rot, as people would say, at home against Newcastle? What do you think we need to do differently?
Well, if I look at today's game, Ash, I feel that the wide players, the delivery of the ball wasn't good enough. The delivery of the passes into the box, whether it was on the ground or it was more in the air today, they just weren't hitting the target. So the quality of crossing needs to improve. But can you improve that in 1 week? Not really. You can't. And also, we don't have enough midfielders who score goals. Yeah. Back in the day, we had Dele Alli scoring, we had Son scoring, we had Kane scoring, we had Eriksen scoring. Lamella would pop up with the odd one. At the moment, we still seem dependent on one or two players, and we can't progress as a club like that. You need everyone to chip in if we're gonna, as you call it, stop the rot. But I don't think we created enough today clear-cut chances. I don't think we really got enough. It's the creativity with us. It's just the creativity. Even against Man City, we didn't create loads, but we were clinical.
That was a difference.
But that's where, to me, Stelios, just to say, like in the first kind of 3/4 of your monologue, I suddenly felt like built back up, and I was like ready to take on Newcastle on Sunday. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I just think it's like this isn't Ange's, and you mentioned it's not Ange's team. It's not Ange's squad, right? And it's not, and he needs time, and he needs to get the players in. He's. I guess if we look at one positive of the last 5 games, he's had an opportunity to see, and he said this actually in some of his interviews. He's had an opportunity to see in real time, real match Premier League time, who can handle it and who can't. Facts. And I think he's gonna. I think if the opportunities are there to get money for some of those players who can't in January, I think he'll try and get that money, and he'll try and then spend that money on players who he genuinely believes can make us more creative. And I agree, without Maddison taking over Harry Kane's number 10 shirt and having the fucking balls to be like, I'm going to be the best player at this club, I'm going to be the creative like linchpin of this club, was absolutely key to that first 10 games. Because if he hadn't signed for us and had those balls, then I think we would be really, really struggling now, and we've missed him so much. Once we get him back, I think we'll be there or thereabouts again, and I hope Mickey van der Ven's hamstring is sorting itself out, because we had an incredible back four then as well. So I'm going to stick with how you made me feel like really built up in that first 3/4 stages and say everything's going to be fine. We're going to be all right. Ange's going to get this squad sorted to play the system and the style that he does. And I agree, he's a top manager, and I think it's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
As long as Daniel Levy and the board back him, it always comes down to them, right? They've yet to back a manager. And what I mean by back isn't money. It's money, who and how that money is spent.
Time.
And time. They need to be given time. And this isn't a 1 year, 2 year fix. Yeah. This is a 3-4 year project. I think Ange can do it ahead of schedule, by the way. I think he can do it quicker. But if we're going to be, a little bit conservative, give him 3 years to really sort this out. Because, people say, but, injuries don't matter. You can't use it as an excuse. Well, hold on. The 3 clubs that have had the most injuries are Newcastle, Man United and Spurs. Newcastle got absolutely torn apart by Everton today. Everton, a relegation team. Yeah. Torn apart. Man United, they got a win yesterday, but they lost the 2 before that. So Newcastle, Spurs, Man United, we're all roughly in the same spot. So injuries do matter. That's why there's been this drop-off with those clubs. And I feel like, as well, a lot of our rivals, they're the ones that are kind of stirring it up, because they know if they stir it up, you lost again, the process is failing, They all know we're at the start of a journey. They all know what we're going through, and they all know that these injuries and suspensions, are costing us, right? Yeah. They know we've got a thin squad, and all it needs is 2 injuries, and it's difficult. They know this, but they're going to beat us because they want us fans to not be united. They want us to turn on the manager. And if ever there's a time to back a manager, it's this guy. He's brave, he's bold, he's got the right idea. And like you said, Barnaby, it's not his squad. It's not his squad. I praise him when we win, and when we lose, I'm not going to blame him. I know that might sound biased, but that's because I don't expect him to win a lot of these games. So when he does win, I'm like, oh, you've surpassed my expectation with these players. And today, mate, we absolutely owned West Ham.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We owned them. We just couldn't create, and it's just frustrating because you know you deserve so much from it, but you've ended up with nothing, and that's football, right? That's how it is.
Celios, thank you so much, mate. We've got a few more people looking to get on, so give us a call in after the Newcastle game. Hopefully it'll be my first victory whilst doing these watch-alongs on Sunday. Thanks again, mate. Really good points. I appreciate it.